Hello and welcome back to another episode of Who Remembers. My name is the Retro Gaming Goose, and today we are playing the movie tie-in game of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Now this game, as for me in my childhood, I absolutely loved this game. So it's a movie tie-in game. I'm playing the PlayStation 2 version. I have only got this on the PlayStation Platinum, and it's a pretty good game. It's very similar to it's a bit of a hack and slash game, but it was released in 2005, sort of the same year as the Star Wars movie Revenge of the Sith of the same name. But it's got some interesting things about it. So not only is it a hack and slash game, it does take some absolute liberties with the storyline. Some other things I'll get into it a bit later. But in this game, so you can either play as Obi-Wan or Anakin, and you basically slash your way God of War style through loads and loads of droids. Now, when it was released in 2005, it was released on the PS2, the Xbox, there was a Game Boy version, a Nintendo DS version, and it also came out on mobile. And it was a great game when it first came out. Interestingly, now, I don't know how interesting you are going to find this, but interestingly, this game came out on May the 4th, 2005, and Star Wars Revenge of the Sith wasn't actually released until May 19th, 2005. So this was, for most movie fans, the only way we could get a snippet into what the new Star Wars was going to be. It has actual clips from the movie. So this, for me, I got this game before I went to go see the film, because I was always been a Star Wars fan, even as a kid, and this blew my mind. I was convinced that some of this was just gameplay, and oh no, it can't be that good, the film, because a lot of people don't like Revenge of the Sith. For me, I loved Revenge of the Sith. I like all the Star Wars films, but I particularly like Revenge of the Sith quite a lot. But yeah, just look at this. I mean, this is just movie stuff. I'm saying look at this, but yeah, just the snippets from the film, and it had a really good way of bringing in snippets of the film to really promote the film that it was tied into, but not giving away much of the story. Right, so we're just going to go through the opening level. I've just remembered how annoying some of the noises are. So this game is always, for me, really reminiscent of another PlayStation 1 Star Wars game, which is Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, which I'm gonna be doing a little video on soon as well. Jedi Power Battles is always one of my favourite games, and it feels very similar to that sort of thing, where you just wiffle batting your way through people. But yeah, I love this game. I think it's so cool. You can do so many things. You can Sorry, I thought the game was trying to get me to do something. Oh, I can still remember most of the combos. Awesome. But yeah, one of the cool things about this game is I haven't actually got it ready to go. But if you complete the game, in the final mission on Mustafar, you play as Obi-Wan, and if you complete the game, you can go back and do it at an alternative Star Wars story ending where Anakin wins in Mustafar, which was always so cool. It's also really hard. I'm not gonna show that off just yet. Maybe another time, if I do a full playthrough of this game, I'll show it. But it's honestly great. Just the little things like that. I genuinely think a lot of love and care went into this game, and it's pretty readily available now. You can pick it up. So it was backwards compatible on the Xbox 360, and I think you can buy it on the Xbox Gaming Store now. It also came out, I think, in 2014. A sort of port of this game came out on the PlayStation Network, so if you wanna buy it there. But if you want an original copy, this version, the PlayStation Platinum version, is a bit cheaper. It's probably about I think it's probably about 10 under £10, I'd say. But if you wanted a mint condition one in wrapped, obviously you're looking at a lot more, as always, when people don't unwrap a game and try and sell it, they always put a ridiculous price on it. But why would you be buying this unless you're planning to play it, in my opinion? But where am I trying to use them? Okay, cool.
We must use the force to move this wreckage. This debris is too
So
heavy.
if you're a Star Wars collector, I guess that is the only way you would want to buy this game without actually playing it. So that would be what you're probably looking at about 100 quid, or £100 if you want to play it like that, which is that's right, I guess. If you're a Star Wars collector and willing to pay that amount of money anyway, then 100 quid's probably nothing, because some of the other Star Wars collectibles are ridiculously priced. But yeah, I always remember, like, the other thing that this game has as well. So I'm pretty sure. Let me go. It is a 2-player game as well, as you can see. You can have like another person play along, which is always really fun. And I'm pretty sure this is the game that has the versus mode in 2-player. Or that might be Force Unleashed on the Wii.
Hurry, we still have a mission to complete. R2, see what you can do about those shields.
I want to get to the bit when you play as Obi-Wan for a little bit, and then I can't remember when that is though.
He says the droids have activated a lockdown protocol. Is there any way around it? There's a shut-off in that landing grid over there. I'll take care of it.
Just like the movie. I remember this bit of the film.
We need to access
That's what I mean when I say it takes a little bit of a liberty with the story. But I always really appreciate it. It always reminds me of like a reimagining of the Star Wars mythos.
I'm on it.
Can I just use force powers on these things? Yeah, I can.
I'm ready for anything now.
But this also does feel like a predecessor to
That did it.
Force Unleashed, where like your force powers aren't as mental as they are in Force Unleashed, but they're still pretty good. Like it feels very similar to that sort of action play where you're running through levels using force powers. You got everything like that. It's definitely one of the better movie tie-in games for the Star Wars universe, because they sort of brought out the Phantom Menace game, which I've got another little thing that I'm going to be doing for. They brought out the Phantom Menace game, which was alright, and then they brought out they didn't bring out a Attack of the Clones game, except for one that's just on the GBA, I think it is, or, the Game Boy. Yep, is the official tie-in to that. For some reason, I don't know why they never really brought out a.
I'll cover R2. You take those snipers out. One step ahead of you, Master.
Oh, what? Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't bring out the tie-in game for Attack of the Clones, and then obviously they brought this one out. But the Attack of the Clones series, when they started bringing out like Battlefront and Jedi Starfighter, things like that, which are pretty good games in their own right. So,
R2, shut those shields down.
but yeah,
I'll never get tired.
I would 100% recommend this game. It's real fun to play. Like even now, it's an absolute joy playing it. It just feels fun. It feels like they have put a lot of love into this game, and you just get to like be a Jedi. You get to be Anakin. And you get to be Obi-Wan, and you can just do ridiculous things.
Against those super battle droids.
You will get a little bit annoyed with Obi-Wan being a smarmy little know-it-all in the background, but I guess that's his characterization as well, as much as everyone has to admit it. But if you were a fan of like Jedi power battles, or just like God of War, Force Unleashed, this is a pretty good game to get. It's pretty it's widely available, so you can get it most places. It's really fun. It holds up quite well today, whether you think the graphics are holding up or not. Ooh, secret kyber crystal, cool. There's lots of like little things that you can do in this as well, a lot of little secrets. You've obviously got the alternative engine that I mentioned. All the force powers, like you upgrade your character as you go along, you can get different force powers, combos, things like that. I think that's the end of the first level, isn't it? It also, like, so replaying it now, what it reminds me of is, you remember the Lord of the Rings games, like the, what they called, so you had like Two Towers and Return of the King. It reminds me of them, like it's that sort of style of playing game. It's a hack and slash game. Right, let's upgrade this. Jump attacks. Oh, I got loads of experience. Upgrade grapple. So yeah, so at the end of each level, you get yeah, I'm finished upgrading. Yeah. So at the end of each level, game name Sith. Okay. I guess because you're playing as Anakin. Alright, makes sense. So I think now I should get a chance to play as Obi-Wan. I can't remember if the missions alternate or not. Or do you have to play through it once? An explosive development. Ooh. If I get to play as Obi-Wan, I'll keep playing. But yeah, it's generally, it's a very fun game. I would get it now. Recommend it to most people. If you're liking your hack and slashers, if you like Star Wars, it's really fun. It holds up really well. The graphics are quite good for what they were at the time. And oh, that's a big word. But yeah, and like as I've said, it reminds me of them Star Wars games. Them Revenge of the Sith, Return of the King, Two Towers, sort of hack and slash games. That's not in the game. What's that? A game in the film. So if you were also a fan of the Lord of the Rings games, I would recommend this completely as well. It feels like that sort of game. And it does the same sort of thing where it takes the same sort of liberties. Like, so as a kid, I was so obsessed with Star Wars. Like, I completely was obsessed with Star Wars. I loved it, loved every second of it. Awesome, I get to play it as Obi-Wan now. I've always liked Obi-Wan. But yeah, I was absolutely obsessed with Star Wars, and this was like the only little snippet into the Star Wars, what Return of the Revenge of the Sith was going to be like, because it was pretty kept, like all Star Wars is always really kept under wraps. And like for me growing up, Phantom Menace was the first one that I saw in cinema because it was the first. Actually, no, that's not true. I definitely saw A New Hope and like the original trilogy first. I'm pretty sure before Phantom Menace came out, they actually like re-released a load of them in the cinema. So the George Lucas special editions, they re-released them for a short time in the cinema, and I went to go and see. I think my brother took me to go see them all, or my dad did. And yeah, and so like with Phantom Menace was, as a kid, it was pretty cool to see Phantom Menace and the world that they lived in. I don't think I really understood like the politics of that game, that film. I keep saying game, film. Is this gonna let me through? Am I just gonna... Yeah, of course. Haha. But yeah, and then Attack of the Clones was just one of them sort of like, it was cool. As a kid, I really liked Attack of the Clones because my reasoning was you can never have enough lightsabers, but in hindsight, it's probably not the greatest film ever. So, and I think that sort of like, so I think I definitely was looking at it through like Star Wars tinted glasses, where I was like, oh, it's Star Wars, it's great. And then after time between like Attack of the Clones and this one coming out, I was like, oh no, but it's got to be good, because my favourite Star Wars film growing up was Return of the Jedi, because I like the green lightsaber in it, and I just genuinely really like that one. I think it's one of my favourite films ever. And then so by that logic, as a kid, I was like, oh well, the third in the trilogy is always the best. Like Return of the King is actually, well, Return of the King's not the best movie. They're all pretty good. But like I thought, like, oh yeah, this one, Revenge of the Sith is going to be the best one because it's the third of the Star Wars trilogy. Therefore, it's going to be the best Star Wars film out of the prequel trilogy. And plus, as well, it was going to be the final Star Wars film that we were ever going to have. Like George Lucas said, he was done. He's never coming back. There's interviews you can watch where he said they're never going to make an episode 7. They're never going to do the rest of it. So it was just the books that you had after that, the extended universe novels to get your Star Wars fix. So you kind of just thought to yourself that this had to be a good film, and when it came out, I loved it. I genuinely thought it was great. I think the it's the best out of the prequel trilogy for sure, 100%. Like, I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Maybe you could. There are a few fans of Phantom Menace that genuinely. Ooh, what's happening here? Sorry, I got distracted by what I was actually supposed to be doing. Got it. But yeah, I'd say, like, Revenge of the Sith, I don't think many people are going to argue that this is the best out of the prequel trilogy. Like, as a film, it was great. And, like, the hype growing up to it, like, this game coming out, this game having the full story, or what we thought the full story of Revenge of the Sith was going to be, was so exciting. And having these little, like, cutscenes of from the film, like, included into it, just made it such a cool game to get. Like, I think a lot of people bought it just to see what the story was going to be, and then, like, the story was not exactly like, this is definitely not in the film, this whole scene here. But yeah, it's there was just so much hype building up to it as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. I fell straight into it. Right, use the Force to breach the gap. It needs to keep changing what the Force. It keeps changing what the Force button is, but I completely lost what I was saying. Oh yeah, like like me and my friends in like, so I think I just started secondary school. I was in secondary school when this film came out, and me and my friends were obsessed with it. We went to go see it on, I think it was the first film that I went to go see on opening day. That's how I weirdly remember that it came out on the 19th of May, and that this game came out like a couple of weeks beforehand. So I went into this movie expecting, like, thinking this was gonna be the film, and then there was parts of it that were like, so another classic example of this is in this game. As you play as Anakin, you have to fight Mace Windu, and it's the most elaborate boss fight ever compared to what actually happens in the film. Like, in this, you get, like, kicked out of a, well, you both go flying out the window. You fight on this, like, electric pylon around Coruscant, and it's just, right. Come on now, stop. Yeah, we go. I think this level's almost over, and then I'll end the video. Just wanted to show one bit of gameplay as Obi-Wan, another bit as Anakin, and I think now we're 20 minutes in, so I think you get a rough idea of what this game is. If it's something that you think you'd be interested in, 100% pick it up. It's one of the better Star Wars games that there is. Go and just hit that. There we go. Look at me use my brain. Game didn't tell me to do that. I figured it out myself. I do like these little, like, weird quick time events. It's pretty cool. Like, I have to, like, roll the trigger, the thumbstick for that. So we just keep going. Ooh, did not think of that. Ooh, did a backflip. Check out Obi-Wan in his fancy moves. Just leave Anakin. He's alright. He's the chosen one. He'll figure it out. Right, I'm just going to play to the end of this level and then... Ah, buzz droids. I saw that buzz droid.
Do you want this one, or should I take it? By all means, Anakin. Help yourself.
They do have some good banter as well.
They don't think they'll stop us, do they? Droids aren't known for their brains, Anakin. Oh, hello. And
The sort of banter that they have in this reminds me of the Clone Wars series as well.
I'll take out these droids. Take this.
Come on, this has got to be the end of the level.
I doubt it'll get us anywhere. Bring that chunk of metal down.
There we go.
Think you can hold it low? Let's find out.
Sick Indiana Jones reference. Oh, come on. It's not far now, is it? This is the only bit in the game that I've never really gotten to grips with, is how to deflect directly at stuff.
I don't think so. You make it too easy.
There we go. Because it says just point the trigger at the thing that you're is being shot at, and it deflects back, but it doesn't always. Come on, Anakin. Which way do we go now? I just activated it, didn't I? Did I not activate it at the right time or something? Is there another enemy that I need to destroy? Yeah.
I'll take that.
There we go. Alright, cool. Straight through. Onwards.
Stay on your guard. Another junk pile.
These levels can be quite long sometimes, but yeah. So interestingly, this bit here, when you're going through the fuel, is actually from a deleted scene. So it probably would have been. It's not obviously going to be this action packed, but there would have been a scene in it. So if you've got the Blu-ray or the DVD of Revenge of the Sith, and if you watch the extra scenes, there is a scene where you see Anakin and Obi-Wan basically escape the same way they did from a load of droids, by cutting through the floor, underworld style, and landing in a fuel depot like this. How do I get rid of that? Stop it. So that's where like the concept, the idea of this bit has come from, is that that it was originally part of the movie.
Clumsy machines.
Which they've stupid things. That's such a design flaw. If you were just a droid,
This whole place
every
is
time you activated a bridge or something, like a load of electricity just goes up. It must be even worse for droids, because they're like. And look, no railing, we've got no railings, no safety railings. Droids are clumsy as hell. Of course you put safety railings in. Right, that's not apparently. Got him. Got that. Nice. Okay. Please be the end of the level. Think it should be. It's not a great level, opening level for Obi-Wan. But yeah, so yeah, that is pretty much the whole video of so that has been Who Remembers Revenge of the Sith on the PlayStation 2, the movie tie-in game. I've said it so many times. I'd recommend this game. It's pretty fun. If you like Lord of the Rings, if you like Jedi Power Battles, if you like that arcade hack and slash game, this is it. This is a pretty, and you want that Star Wars fix as well. This game, great game, love it. Very nostalgic. Sorry if I've wobbled on a bit. I just wanted to get sort of both sides of the characters that you play as in the game. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. This is part of my Star Wars month series. Again, hopefully, if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.